Rovers continue their unbeaten season over in the Championship with a draw over at Carrow Road. How did we do it? Well, we'll tell you all about it next. That's right, folks. Back once again in another video. Today, we're taking a look back at the 2-2 draw between Norwich City and Blackburn Rovers at Carrow Road. And we'll get to it in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash the old subscribe button. Your one-stop shop for Blackburn Rovers is right here under one Rooski. Lastminute.com equalizer for Rovers as life without Smodic starts okay, guys, as we get a draw against a tricky opponent, that in Norwich City. We'll get into all of that in a minute. Big shout out, of course, to the VIPs. They are the patrons. You know who you are. And again, if you're new, smash the old subscribe, boys and girls. Your one-stop shop for Rovers is right here. So let's talk about it. Talk about the result. 2-2, Desmond 2-2 in the end, as Rovers came out with a draw. As you can see, nice, decent goal there from Ryan Hedges. Link-up play with Mac to Gay, Big Mac to you and me was fantastic on the 20th minute. To rifle home as a tricky left-footed shot, beat Angus Gunn between the sticks to give Rovers, I thought, I wouldn't say, deserve a lead, but maybe a lead that was, it was warranted when we took our chances and put it in the back of the net. In fact, the first half, might shade it a little bit towards Norwich City. They were the home side. They are a decent side. But, to go in at halftime, 1-0 up at Carrow Road, it was a great start, wasn't it? But, unfortunately, Norwich do have some weapons on their roster here, including Josh Sargent, who realistically should have probably been walking away with a match ball in the end. He did rifle home a 65-minute equaliser to put Ainsley Pears on his arse. And then only 8 minutes later, Boria Sains took the lead there to put Rovers on the back foot. And to be honest with you, looking like we were going away with absolutely nothing. So 2-1 it was, but Rovers somehow fought their way back into it with the main man himself, Yuki Ohashi, with his third goal in Rovers colours already, and they're all coming off the bench. Yes, that's right, super sub extraordinaire, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Mark 2.0, the Japanese version, and he's been clinical. Look at that. 7 shots on the night for Rovers, 3 on target, 2 in the back of the net. Meanwhile, Norwich City had 14 shots, just 4 of them on target, 2 of them in the back of the net. We did have more possession than they did. We threw out more passes than they did, and our pass was also more accurate than theirs. The yellow cards were dished out more to us than them. And corners, we were a little bit better on them in the end as we navigated through 6 tricky corners in the end. What I can say is Pears was a little bit ropey at the back for a couple of, a couple of little defensive howlers, and there were moments where I thought we were going to lose this quite heavily. But I must say that he did pull off a couple of tremendous saves as well. So, I think it kind of equaled itself out. Meanwhile, big shout out to Sondre Tronster with a goal line clearance. In fact, a clearance that ended up with a boot in the face of Ainsley Pears, which required him to have a couple of tampons shoved up his nose. So, soldiered on, and full credit to him, because I was very concerned when he got a boot to the face, did Pears, that I thought we were going to lose this one with him between the necks. What I can say, as it's happened in both games in the Championship, and it's something that needs to be rectified, is whenever we do make these changes, the substitutions, that's when it seems to be at our most vulnerable. We conceded 1, maybe 2 goals against Derby as soon as we made the subs, and the same can be said here. As soon as we made the subs, a lot of composure went out the window. We lost Ryan Hedges, we lost Mac to Gay, 2 tall fellas in our squad, and I think we were left with egg on our face, because at that point, 2 goals, quick succession. Norwich were in command, and we were for a good portion of the game, a good 30 or so minutes, we were scrambling to get something out of this game. But fortunately, we had Yuki Ohashi, who of course delivered on the night. Speaking of the teams, let's take a look at the teams here. Of course, starting line for Norwich, they had Angus Gunn between the sticks. Callum Doyle was there, of course, on loan from City. They had Shane Duffy, still chipping away, still being a knob as he is. Ben Crescenti made his debut at the left back, Jack Stacey on the right. Kenny McLean were the captain's armband for the Canaries, Marcelo Nunez with Gabe Forsyth, the youngster, in midfield. Up top there, Boria Sains, Akwan Van Fonson, and the deadly Josh Sargent. Look at that, £14 million rated. To keep it a hold of him is is must for Norwich. As for Rovers, we have pairs between the sticks. Dominic Hyam at the back there. Hayden Carter alongside him. Then we had Harry Pickering, valued a cool £4.2 million. We had Callum Britton on the right. Travis with the captain's armband. Then Sondre Tronstad alongside him. Joe Ranky Costello in an unfamiliar sort of role for me. Ryan Edges on the left. Dolan supporting McTagay in the little and large duo. As for the substitutions, take a look at them. We did see Jose Cordoba coming on. He looks like a player. At the back, Kellen Fisher as well. Liam Gibbs coming on. Ono Hernandez and Abu Kamara. As for Rovers, substitutions include Danny Bath, John Buckley, Andreas Wyman. Arne Sigurdsson looked lively, but Yuki Ohashi was clinical in front of goal. Let's take a look at the match ratings then for the players. The man of the match, according to SofaScore, was going to go to, or should go to, Borja Sainz with a 7.9 match rating. Closely followed by, in Norwich colours, Marcelo Nunez and Callum Doyle with 7.1. As for Rovers, the man of the match was it was Ryan Hedges with a 7.7. Travis was not far behind. We're back to Gay also in the 7s for them. And as you can see on the graphic there, so all the drama happened. Rovers scoring nice and early. A little bit of a yellow card tussle. Substitutions were made. Rovers made the subs. Instant goal, as you see. 2 goals from Norwich. Eventually, we did manage to salvage something from the game as well. What else can we take from this graphic? Aerial duels 1. I think we are in the blue. Yep, we're in the blue here. So, we sort of won a lot of the key statistics in the end. They might have had more shots, but we had more possession, more dribbles, more aerial duels, etc., etc. Take a look at the heat maps. This is our Norwich City heat map, as you can see. Not much in that attacking area in that final third. Moving forward, a lot of possession seems to be in that defensive third for them. As for Rovers, it does look like we're pinned back here, or a lot of our touches were back in here and couldn't really get out of the sort of midfield zone and into their attacking third for the most part. So it was a bit of a defensive, I don't really want to call it a masterclass because it really wasn't. It does give me food for thought and some concerns moving forward. That's 2 games now in the league that we've conceded 2 goals. So it is a significantly concerning area. We definitely need a new goalkeeper. And I'm not trying to dislodge Ainsley Pears, but right now, when he took a boot to the face, we looked to the touchline, we looked to the sideline, and the keeper, I don't even know who it was. Who was it? Hilton or Barrett? Those guys, that's a non-league keeper. That's no disrespect to them. They're a young keeper still trying to earning their stripes, really. They're not going to be going to fill me with confidence. I'd rather have Big Dick Smallwood back in between the necks than some of these non-league wonders. So that should be priority number 1, especially we've got a whole full week now to prepare for Oxford, which will be a tricky game. No, don't let the name fool you. Oxford United, they beat Norwich. We didn't beat Norwich. They succumbed to a narrow defeat against a high-flying a Coventry with firepower. I think it was 4-3 or 3-2, something like that. Close game. So let's not look into Oxford to thinking that it's going to be a walkover. I think it's going to be our most difficult game of the season. And I know the season is still very raw around the gills, but that is my take on the scenario. Let's take a look then at the shot grid for you. This is Rovers' shot grid. This is Norwich's shot grid. Quite a lot of long-range efforts, a lot of wild ones as well. The main man with being Josh Sargent with 5. Like I said, he could have had a hat-trick and some. He did hit the bar with an effort, and again, there was lots of mad body scrambles. As for Rovers, the most prolific was in fact Joe Ranky Costello, the man I didn't really give much credit for. McTagay with just the 1 effort. Ohashi with the 1 and scored as well. Wyman with an effort as well. So good to see them getting it. And good to see the spread of goals already from Rovers. 2 games in the league. What we got now? We've got 6 goals scored in 2 games. And how many different goal scorers? I don't really want to know, really. I don't really want to say it because Smodic is not one with us anymore. But all in all, a good day at the office, I would say. But what about the older goofers on the older Twitter sphere? What have they been saying? Let's have a quick look at that. Hop on over to the Twitter sphere. So we're going to start with Rock Amadeus. As a Rovers fan living abroad with kids' activities, clash match times. Oh, he just appreciates my updates. 40 says, I'm pleased for him, but he's going to be at Smodic. Where are we? Ben the Boss Jackson. We'll start with that one. A brilliant point. It could have gone either way, but all things said, we will take that point. Terrible defending all round. Pairs up and down today. Great. at time. Scary others. Ohashi stepped up along with Hedgie. We'll take that point. Daniel Slay said, decent point that. Onward to Oxford. Addy Wood. That's right. Tommy BR1875. Good point. Overall good point, but Eustace has to manage games better from a winning position. We never push for a second until we concede. Just sit back and play boring, negative football, letting opposition have the momentum. Gay, Ohashi both need to start next game. On to the next. Again, I'm just trying to get other opinion here. I'm not saying I'm on that one. I'm just wanted to say, this is what the fans are thinking, and you want to get their opinions out there. Meanwhile, Ryan Mez, 79, best team I've seen Cairo Road in years. That's a Norwich fan. Slick passing, and your left back is definitely one to watch. Would be shocked if you don't get autos. No, I don't know if I can't even take that seriously. But anyway, back-to-back impact subs. You wouldn't believe it. That's Adrian Pickering. Meanwhile, Galarossi Blue said, I'll take that. Carrow Road is never an easy ground to play at. Once they went 2-1 up, I didn't think we would come back into it. We look so much more resilient than last season, and thank the Lord for Ohashi. Whoever unearthed him deserves a huge pay rise. Meanwhile, Mark's Mobile said, great point. Norwich were in the playoffs last season with losing Smodic and not replacing him yet is even sweeter. And the worries about relegation are long gone. Easy there, does it? Once we replace Sammy and a new goalkeeper with pairs drops of form, we'll top the table at least. Seen enough of Gay already. That means I hope that's a positive statement. Tom said, I think Ohashi and Wyman or Siggy has to start, but it's a point away at a decent size, so you can't complain. James S. Blackburn said, being honest, after the great start and the emotions of Sammy departure, I wasn't expecting much, but a draw away at Norwich is pretty good considering. Next, please. Meanwhile, Gimp with a limp, 81, said, I'm behind Eustace 100%, but he needs to cut some of that crap out. Backwards passing, sitting too deep is going to cost points. Also would start Yuki over Dolan and JRC back to right back. Meanwhile, B Rovers says, would have taken a point away at Norwich before kickoff. Point on the road. Only 2 teams with 2 wins so far, so wouldn't be too disheartened. Get a win against Oxford and it'll be a really solid start. There's the gaffer. There's the Yuki. There's some more. Blackburn, thank you so much for Mark and Day. Okay, he's having a steal. And Elliot Bennett loving it as well. So great all round from the Rovers. But what about what's going on for the rest of the championship? Let's have a quick look-see over there. Of course, these are the results so far. There is a game to be played tomorrow. But Coventry picking up a big win against Oxford at home. West Brom Leeds were 0-0. Portsmouth Luton Town 0-0 with Kaminsky having a real tough day at the office. Plymouth Argyle got their first point on the board against Hull City 1-1 over at Plymouth. Meanwhile, Derby County look at that, beating Middlesbrough 1-0 at Pride Park. Bristol City with a 7-goal thriller against Millwall. Swansea put 3 past now managerless again Preston. Watford 3-0 up against Stoke. Sheffield United threw it in the bin against QPR 2-2 in the end. Burnley put 5 past Cardiff, but enough about that. And then Rovers 2-2 against Blackburn, of course. Sunderland against Sheffield Wednesday, that's tomorrow. Meanwhile, the table looks a little bit like this. Stop the count, would take that all day long. Of course, Burnley top the charts, Watford are up there. Sheffield Wednesday could join them with double wins if they beat Sunderland tomorrow, who also could be in the top end of the table as well. Going down at the moment, Cardiff, Preston and Mill, but it is early days. What about next week? Well, it's a jam-packed schedule once again. Sheffield Wednesday, we're taking on Leeds. That'll be on Friday night. Bit of a Yorkshire affair, that one. Then the early kickoffs. Hull City against Millwall. Bristol City against Coventry City. QPR against Plymouth. And then the late kickoffs or the normal kickoffs. Watford Derby, Stoke West Brom, Preston Luton. We have Sunderland against Burnley. That'll be a bit of a banger. Norwich will take on Sheffield United. Middlesbrough take on Pompey. And Swansea take on Cardiff. But the game of the round will be Rovers against Oxford. We'll have the watch along. So yeah, looking forward to having you guys back. It was a good watch along this time around. Hopefully it'll be another good one next time around. So the coverage for Oxford will probably be in earnest very, very soon. And we might even have a podcast for you Monday. So keep your eyes open for that. Smash the like, smash the subscribe. Your one-stop shop for Rovers is right here. I'm going to go cut a steak on the grill and get ready for the weekend. The weekend starts now and it's all blue and white. Until then, we are done.